Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, warmer weather is upon us and many families are spending more time outside. We're going to hear how the Joplin Police Department is keeping riders of all kinds safe.
Also, this weekend marked the 65th anniversary of Truman Day. We'll see what the excitement this year was all about.
And we have an alert day today. Severe thunderstorms likely as we head into the evening. All hazards possible. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Amber Jenkins.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 o'clock on this Monday morning. It is Monday, and of course, we do have that severe threat today. We're going to go into detail about all that a little later. But outside of the severe weather that we've had over the last couple of weeks, it's also been much warmer. Yes. A lot of folks spending a lot more time outside right now. And I know, well, I don't go outside that much, but my kids have been outside a lot, and you've got to be safe while you're out there.
Of course, as we enter warmer weather, many people find themselves spending more time outdoors and especially on bikes.
Yeah, KOAM Samantha Walker has more on how the Joplin Police Department is helping riders stay safe on the road.
Like many kids, Grayson Wimsett loves riding his bike. So much so that he's ridden it to school every day this year.
I just like the freedom of being to move around wherever you want.
But Grayson also knows that there are steps kids like him have to take to be safe on the road, such as wearing a helmet.
So everybody can have an enjoyable time on a bike.
For the first time, the Joplin Police Department held a bike safety event where families could come and learn how to try to stay safe on the road.
You know, bicycle safety is huge in the warmer months because there's so many things that we have to be prepared for, such as cars or abrupt stops or anything that we might have to navigate around while riding the bikes. And as families start to get educated on different safety aspects, we can hopefully ensure that we've got safe riders on the roadways.
The event featured helmet giveaways and an obstacle course for riders to learn how to make difficult turns and follow a path. Several local organizations also joined in the event to help promote safety on the road. Blues Bike Company helped by performing safety checks on bikes to make sure they were safe to ride.
It makes you feel awesome, knowing that you're setting them up for success and pushing them in the right direction to be thoughtful about safety.
And even some of the young but experienced riders are happy to give advice to the next generation of bike riders as they take to the streets.
Wear a helmet and don't do wheelies. Because if you do a wheelie in the 5-year-old age, yeah. I already did a wheelie once, but not safe. Not safe. I almost fell over.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Joplin Police Department also encourages drivers to be road aware as the amount of bikers increase in the summer months.
A lot of kids out on their bicycles. Summer break coming up, a lot of kids getting ready to be out. There's going to be even more of them out there, more hours of the day. So you've really got to slow down, watch out for the kids out there because they're still kids. They're going to be as safe as they can, but they're going to get distracted. They're going to be having fun. They may not see you. So make sure you are being careful out there.
No wheelies, remember, no wheelies.
Yeah, no wheelies. I did that once or twice. How I haven't died yet is beyond me at this point. We also have some dense fog to contend with as we get our morning underway. So, if you're riding a bike, you want to make sure you have some lights on it because it is pretty foggy. Let's take a look at that. We've got zero visibility being reported in Fort Scott right now. And this dense fog has really been hugging the Missouri-Kansas border all morning long. Densest of it now here in Bourbon and Vernon counties. So Highway 54, 69, I-49, and even down into 126, 160. You got to slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. Use your low beams, not your high beams out there. Dense fog advisories continue Oklahoma, Arkansas through 8 a.m. and for parts of Kansas and Missouri until 9 this morning. Then we have our severe threat. We do have that moderate risk for tornadoes across southeastern Kansas with these hash marks indicating the possibility of strong tornadoes as a possibility out there. The elevated risk out there as well. Low to elevated hail risk. So the hail risk you can see a little lower. We do have hash marks for large hail, potentially 2 inches in diameter or larger in our far western counties. And then the other big concern is the wind. An enhanced risk across the entire area. These hash marks indicating we could see wind gusts 70, 80 miles an hour or potentially greater, with thunderstorms expected across the area this evening. We're going to go into detail about these storms, what we're looking at here in just a few moments. We're going to get you out the door, though, because as you get your day underway, you got to be aware of the fog, and you've got to make sure you're dressed appropriately as well. We're sitting at 60 in Joplin, 59 in Pittsburgh. Visibility has improved quite a bit down here, but again, up north, still pretty dense. Temperatures upper 50s, low 60s. Not a lot of movement yet on these temperatures, but they will begin to warm. Scattered showers and storms possible from late morning into the afternoon out there. A strong storm or two is possible, but the greater severe threat starts working in this evening. We'll also have gusty south winds pushing around 25 miles an hour and highs today into the upper 70s. Again, we have that severe threat this evening. We're keeping a very close eye on this situation as it evolves, and we'll have the latest on the expectations and the timing of these storms and the full forecast, and that's coming up here in just a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Joplin police respond to the Olive Garden after reports of a man with a gun causing a disturbance. According to Captain Trevor Duncan of the Joplin Police Department, a call came in just after the noon hour on Sunday of witnesses saying a man was causing a disturbance in the restaurant. Conflicting reports said the man had a gun, or rather displayed it. By the time police arrived, the male and his party were no longer on the scene. The man was not located and his identity is still unknown. No reports of injuries or arrests were made as of 1:05 p.m. business hours. Business is back to normal at the restaurant. Captain Duncan says if anyone has information, contact the JPD non-emergency line. The Kentucky Derby found its way to Missouri Saturday. The Alliance of Southwest Missouri held its annual Kentucky Derby-style fundraiser. Attendees chose to pony up for a good cause at the event, which featured simulated races and betting, as well as a live stream of the actual Derby. Guests were encouraged to be dressed to the nines, but they could also build their own fancy accessories at the Churchill Crowns Hat Bar. Proceeds from the event support the Alliance of Southwest Missouri, who is celebrating years of supporting area children and families this year. The 65th annual Truman Day birthday celebration was held Saturday in Lamar, Missouri. The celebration honors former President Harry S. Truman, who was born in Lamar. His birthplace is now a historic site. Those who attended were able to visit a multitude of vendors as well as tour the house that President Truman was born in. Today's celebration also had live music and a reenactment put on by the Lamar High School theater program.
We're always every year trying to do something new to keep everybody coming back to the birthplace. Several times people will come just to see the house. They may have been here several times, but they just really like to step back in history in the 1880s and see what it was like to live during that time when the Trumans were here in Lamar.
The celebration was held from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday and was free of charge for all those who attended. Coming up next, Don Burrs and Henry Gatewood joins us to share what services veterans will be able to find this year's spring roundup. And later, residents and visitors are in for a surprise when a mother seal gave birth at a beach in Hawaii. You're watching the KOM's Morning News on Fox 14.
Get hooked on a big win this May at River.
The Veterans Spring Roundup is scheduled to take place this weekend. Don Burris and Henry Gatewood, the organizer of the event, is with us this morning to share what the Roundup is and what services are offered. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
So tell me more about this Roundup. What's going on?
Well, we organize this so we can get veterans benefits they have earned in the past, and they don't realize that they have earned them. The PACT Act, which came into effect about 2 years ago, really changed the dynamic of veterans benefits.
Plus, what most veterans don't understand, if they serve, they earned this.
Yes, they did.
And
yes.
They need to come out to us to get it done, because we're going to have representatives there to help them do the paperwork, the whole 9 yards. And it doesn't matter if he's a veteran, a widow of a veteran, dependents.
Yep.
If there was some disease or some cause that caused their father to die of this, they can get benefits. They just got to do the paperwork.
No, that's good. And, paperwork can be a little frustrating or a little confusing at times. So you guys are having this event to just make it more clear to, like you said, veterans, service members, and the friends. What should they bring to this event for the paperwork?
DD Form 214 if they have them. Any orders they've got, any medical records they've got, any death certificates, and so forth.
And we'll also have eight to 10 VSOs, veteran service officers, there to help file the claims and with all the paperwork, because it is kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be pretty tedious, but like you said, they earned it.
Yeah, they earned it.
Yes.
Well, will there be some food or anything, make it a little tastier?
Yeah, we're gonna have hamburgers, hot dogs for lunch. We'll have donuts in the morning, Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday we're gonna have biscuits and gravy. So that'll be an enticement for the people to come out.
Oh man, you're enticing me. But you said it was going to take place from May the 9th through the 11th?
Yes, from 9 o'clock to 4 every day.
Okay.
Post 704 in Parsons. And what's the address, Henry?
It's 201 East
Main.
Yeah.
East Main, nice. Well, okay, that makes sense. I just want to go over it one more time. So it's going to be 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day from May 9th to the 11th.
Through the 11th.
Yeah, Thursday,
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, is there anything else you want the audience to know, what to bring or what else to expect?
Just everybody's welcome. It won't hurt and won't cost anything to try, and, like Henry said, the veterans earned it. And, that's something we need to take away from this. Our veterans need to be taken care of.
Plus, while there, if they want to join a VFW somewhere else or here, we can give them applications for that. Or if they want to join the American Legion, we can get them in touch with them also. Plus, we have the auxiliary side to where if you want to join the auxiliary and you got the DD-14, we can take care of that also.
Well, before I send us off, I want to say thank you guys for your service and thank you for putting on this event. I know it's going to be very helpful for our community.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back after this.
How does this place, 99 cents?
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:16 coming up on 7:17 on this Monday morning. It is an alert day in the Skywatch Weather Center as we have that possibility of severe weather as we head through the evening and overnight hours. We do have a moderate tornado risk across portions of southeastern Kansas. These hash marks in that zone there indicating the possibility of strong tornadoes that could be EF2 or greater. A tornado threat is looking to be isolated in nature, but it is nonetheless there and is something we've got to keep a very close eye on. We have a low to elevated hail risk with a hash mark in some of our western counties indicating the possibility of hail 2 inches in diameter or greater, but the overall hail risk considerably lower than the tornado threat and the wind threat. We have an enhanced risk for damaging wind gusts with these hash marks indicating the possibility of winds 70, 80 miles an hour or greater with the storms that we see tonight. Then tomorrow, we could have a lingering storm or two or some brief redevelopment tomorrow morning behind this main line of storms. So we do have a low wind risk primarily in the early morning for, I'd say between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. For a strong storm or two. Most of our Tuesday looks good. Then we got to keep an eye on Wednesday. Frontal boundary triggering thunderstorms by late morning into the early afternoon. These could be strong to severe as well. They're expected to develop rather quickly, intensify rather quickly. The question is on how quickly they will slide off to our east as that front rolls through. But while they're here, they could be strong to severe. So let's talk about today. Isolated to widely scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm as we head into the afternoon. A couple of these could be strong, low-grade severe, but this is at this point not where the expectation of the primary severe risk is. It is going to be after about 6, 7 o'clock this evening with this. This is a line of storms out there expected to be severe. We're looking at this as being the primary center for those wind gusts of 70 to 80 miles an hour. We could have spin-up tornadoes along the leading edge of that system, and into southeastern Kansas immediately directly ahead of this line, we could have some supercells develop ahead of that, which is what brings in that moderate tornado risk across parts of southeastern Kansas as well. This line not expected to lose any of its intensity as we go into the overnight hours, so it will slide through. Here we are at 1 o'clock Tuesday morning, well into southwestern Missouri, along and south of I-44. Severe weather still likely ongoing at 1 a.m. It will not be until about 3 or 4 a.m. that the last of that really starts to make its way out of here. And then again, our Tuesday, after we get past the morning, looks pretty good. Temperatures right around 80 degrees. Then we go into our Wednesday. And by mid-morning on Wednesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms ahead of that front and along that front. And these could be strong, possibly severe. Here we are at 10 a.m. with those storms out there, and they're continuing even until about noon. And here's that front right here. And it'll begin to push off to the east. As it does so, it'll take the thunderstorms and the severe threat with it. Behind it, a brief cool down for some of us, but overall, our temperature's not really expected to be impacted by that front on Wednesday. So again, we have that main severe threat late this evening into the overnight hours, and then we're watching that severe threat again as we head into our Wednesday out there. Highs today are going to make the upper 70s. We'll have south winds gusting around 25 miles an hour. Then we'll watch those thunderstorm chances. 80 tomorrow. 82 on Wednesday. We're looking pretty good for our Thursday. Got a stray shower or two possible on Friday. Our weekend looking fantastic as well, into the 70s and dry, which will be nice. And then as we head into next week, more thunderstorm chances out there. Temperatures into the mid-70s. But again, we have that alert day today, keeping a very close eye on the severe weather chances this evening across the area. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this. An endangered monk seal is born on a Hawaii beach. Officials are telling the public to find a different place to swim for the next few weeks.
This space will give the mother and pup space to nurse. Fox and Lena Lee has more on the story.
With May Day celebrations across the state, perhaps the biggest party was a birthday on Kaimana Beach.
I've lived here my whole life, and it's the very first time I have ever seen a newborn baby seal. I've seen them when they're a little bit older, but this is my first time ever seeing one that was like born today.
We can confirm that we have a brand new Hawaiian monk seal pup. Hawaiian monk seals are one of the most endangered seal species in the entire world, and they're only found here in Hawaii.
One of Hawaii's iconic monk seals, Ka'ivi, birthed her 6th pup as of Wednesday morning.
It's not something that you see all the time, and it's just really protected and special to everyone who lives here just because of the rarity of it.
Members are putting up fencing and posting signs to block off people from getting too close to the monk seal mom and pup, which could endanger themselves or the animals.
Monk seal harassment is a Class C felony, which means that you can get up to a year in prison.
A portion of Kaimana Beach will remain closed for the next 5 to 7 weeks as officials monitor the endangered monk seals. Hawaiian Marine Animal Response says Ka'ivi almost always weans or leaves her pups at about 6 weeks. Until then, the public is asked to respect posted signs for the safety of Ka'ivi and her new Mayday pup.
This is their area, we share it with them, so be mindful of any signage, any barriered areas.
They've actually bitten swimmers before who they have perceived as a threat to their pup. So it's really important for your safety that you choose a different beach to swim at during this nursing period.
Officials say peak pupping season for Oahu is usually between April and September. For Ka'ivi, this is the 3rd pup she's given birth to here on Kaimana Beach. Alina Lee, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
Got to make sure you give them space out there. And I mean, if that's the place they pick, that's the place they pick. They're seals.
Yeah, my heart goes out to the seal because, you know, after giving birth, the last thing you want is a bunch of people around.
Having
cameras,
a press conference right outside of your birthing area. But, you know, it's we got to warn the people, I guess.
Hey. Coming up, KOAM Samantha Walker shares how new graduates are stepping up to fill the shortages in healthcare.
And we've got some fog across the area. We also have an alert day today for severe weather. We're going to have more on your forecast when we come back.
Get hooked on a big win this May at Riverbend Casino
Street in Pittsburgh. You'll dig our selection.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28. I'm Amber Jenkins. The Missouri State Highway Patrol and Asbury Fire Department responded to a car crashed in between two trains late Friday night. The Missouri State Highway Patrol and Asbury Fire Department responded to a car crashed in between two trains late Friday night. It looked almost as unbelievable as it sounds. A passenger car struck a slow-moving train and was disabled. The driver got out as another train on an adjacent track was coming the other way. The car was smashed in between the two trains. Amazingly, the driver had minor injuries. It took a period of hours to separate the wreckage and inspect the trains and track before it was cleared. Troopers on the scene told us that they were investigating a DWI crash. The crossing in which the incident took place does not have any arms or lights and were also the same place where a fatal crash took place in 2018. Just a few hours before the accident in Asbury, first responders in Neosho responded to a crash of a car traveling at excessive speed. The vehicle was traveling east on Iris Road and could not navigate the turn to NN. It flipped an unknown amount of times. The four occupants are all from Nebraska. Two of them were ejected. All of the occupants suffered injuries and were transported to Mercy Hospital in Joplin and Freeman West in Joplin. Witnesses say the car was traveling over 100 miles per hour. Animal Advocates is an organization in Southeast Kansas responsible for rescuing over 700 animals last year. Officials say the organization was responsible for rescuing 1/3 of dogs that ended up at a Pittsburgh kill shelter. Sunday, the organization held a fundraiser to help benefit their mission.
What the community should understand from our event is that we are in the area. We do need financial help in a variety of different ways so that we can meet our goals, and that there are some resources out there that maybe they haven't seen in the past.
Those who attended had live music, musical bingo, and door prizes. Pet lovers and owners went for a little run Saturday morning in Joplin as the 4th annual Fast and Furious run kicked off. The 5K kicked off at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. The fastest male and female dogs were both given awards, as well as the top 3 finishers overall, and the fastest male and female humans in each age group.
So this event is a great way to promote relationships with pets and their families. It also gives them an opportunity to get them out in the public so everybody can see what amazing pets that have not only come from the shelter but are in homes already.
There was also a 1-mile fuzzy fun walk that kicked off at 9 a.m. for those just looking to get out and get moving. Now let's check in with Chris for a quick look at weather.
Yeah, we've had some dense fog across the area this morning, beginning to see improvements. That fog really hugging the Missouri-Kansas state line. So 69, 49, 160, 54, 126. Fort Scott not long ago had 0 visibility being reported. Still reduced visibilities in Fort Scott and along 54. So make sure you slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. Use your low beams, not your high beams. Dense fog advisories continue for parts of Kansas into Missouri until 9 this morning. Oklahoma and Arkansas, they will continue through 8 o'clock this morning. Then we have that possibility of severe weather this evening. We have a moderate risk for tornadoes across parts of southeastern Kansas and elevated risk on the eastern side. We have a low to elevated risk for hail. Hail not the primary threat, but still possible. And then we have an enhanced risk for wind across the entire area as well. We're going to break down the details on our severe threat this evening in the full forecast here in just a few minutes. Right now it is sunny in Joplin, 60. Pittsburgh sitting at 59. Still some fog out there to contend with, but we are slowly seeing that burn off and we'll continue to do so through the morning. Upper 50s, seeing a lot more low 60s out there as we get a little more sunshine to the south, a little gradual warming taking place. We'll have some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two as we head into the afternoon. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe, but the greater severe threat comes this evening. As we head into the evening and overnight hours out there, we'll also have gusty south winds pushing upwards of 25 miles an hour, and our highs today topping out in the upper 70s. Again, we have that severe threat heading into this evening. We have that potential for all severe hazards as well. We're going to break down the details and the timing in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Hundreds of students graduated from the Kansas City University Joplin campus Sunday. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on how many of these graduates are helping fill in a shortage in healthcare.
Here I am fulfilling my dream to be a doctor.
Graduates of the Kansas City University Joplin campus are preparing to take the next steps in their medical journey. For graduates like Dr. Tammy Wicke, this moment has been years in the making. She helped raise her children while her husband was in medical school. Now it's her turn to graduate.
I have always had a heart for people. Like I just want I just want to help people. And I just felt that this was a way that I could really serve them.
More than 50% of this semester's graduates are becoming primary care doctors, an area that has reported shortages across the nation. An estimated 30% of Americans don't have a primary care doctor due to shortages, according to the National Association of Community Health Centers. The vice president of KCU and administrator of the Joplin campus says these shortages are especially notable in the four-state area.
It's just that certain areas interest students more than just primary care anymore. And that it's changed gradually over the past decades, but we're at a point now where it is becoming a crisis. We are struggling with a primary care shortage, and especially in rural areas in this part of the country.
Wicke says she's staying in her hometown of Joplin and going into family medicine. She says she is proud to hopefully be able to help support the same community she grew up in.
This goes back to the tornado. We were in the tornado, and the way that the community came together after and during that time just gave me a big heart for the people. And so having lived in other places, there's just no people like the Midwest Joplin people. So we love the people here.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Kansas City University Joplin campus first started classes in 2017. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. We'll hear how a 105-year-old woman received a birthday wish of a lifetime.
Feels good only at Ashley.
In Consumer Watch this morning, food inflation is causing a food revolt and big brands are taking a big dollar punch. A Wall Street Journal report says Americans are maxed out on price limits at restaurants, fast food, grocery, and other specialty eat and drink places. The report says some loyalty programs are being dropped by consumers, and orders at some fast food drive-ins and kiosks are down. The report adds the pullbacks mean companies may go to deals and promotions even if it costs them financially. A new study suggests that owning a cat may put you at a higher risk of schizophrenia. Research published in Schizophrenia Bulletin by the University of Queensland, Australia, says the people exposed to cats could double their risk of developing schizophrenia later in life. While a relationship between the mental disorder and early life cat exposure has been identified, one psychology expert says there's no reason to panic. There is still much more research to be done. Iran is attempting to boost its economy amid U.S.-led sanctions, latest attempt of which the Iran Expo. Fred Pildergan reports from Etheren.
An international trade fair in one of the most sanctioned countries in the world. It's called the Iran Expo and is the Islamic Republic's attempt to market its products to businesses willing to defy U.S.-led sanctions. Iran's leadership has said that in order to try and beat the sanctions, what they want to do is develop their own homegrown industries like the automobile industry, and then hopefully export items like these around the world. Tehran showcasing everything from heavy machinery to food products, hoping for international buyers. It seems like a tall task, but as large economies like Russia and China increasingly find themselves under Western economic pressure, the Iranians hope they'll be more open to doing business with Tehran. We even met a parliamentarian from Mali saying he'd do an interview, but only in Russian. Right now, we have dynamic growth in the medical sector in the first place, he says, and we're also interested in widening cooperation in the oil sector and also general trade. Iran's economy has been ravaged by what the U.S. called maximum pressure, designed, the U.S. claims, to compel it to stop its support for extremism, halt its crackdown on protesters, and agree to a tougher nuclear deal. Unemployment and inflation are high, while Iran's currency continues to devalue. Iran is working with other adversaries of the West, like Russia. The cooperation we have in the energy sector and agriculture, education and development, and the contacts between our scientists, in all these directions we can take further steps, Iran's president said at a recent meeting with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. And Iran wants to rely not only on oil and gas, but also on manufacturing, the country's deputy industries minister tells me. The reality is that sanctions have two faces, he says, the damaging side, but the other side is that it makes you believe in your capabilities and become independent. But the Iranians acknowledge Western sanctions are a major hurdle, not only when it comes to making their products, but also trying to sell them abroad.
Those were our top consumer watch stories this morning. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 7:44. We have a lot to talk about with our severe weather threat. We do have a moderate risk for tornadoes across portions of southeastern Kansas, an enhanced risk outside of that, and an elevated risk for the rest of the area. Those hash marks indicate the possibility of a strong tornado, EF2 or greater, within that hash mark area. It's not a guarantee, but it's a possibility. We have a low to elevated hail risk. The hail risk is considerably less than the other two. And we do have hash marks in our far western counties where we could see hail 2 inches in diameter or greater. Then we have the enhanced risk for wind across most of the area with the hash marks that go along with that. Those are the significant marks, which indicate we could see winds 70, 80 miles an hour or greater with thunderstorms as we head into the evening hours. Now, the Storm Prediction Center is looking to upgrade a portion of that risk area out to our west. It may clip parts of Elk and Chautauqua counties. We're waiting on that update expected by 8 a.m. So we're going to keep a very close eye on the storms today. You've got to keep a very close eye on the storms today. We have an alert day today. We have a pretty significant risk of severe weather across the area as we head into the evening and overnight hours. You've got to be weather aware today with the thunderstorm chances. Tomorrow, it's a low end risk. We could see a strong or low grade severe storm. There could be some redevelopment behind the main complex that's going to roll through tonight. Otherwise, our Tuesday looks pretty good. Wednesday, cold front comes in. We're expecting rapid thunderstorm development by mid-morning into the early afternoon. These storms could intensify quickly and become severe, and they are expected to move out of our area rather quickly, but while they're here, they could pack a punch as well. Let's talk about today first. Here's a look at the future track. Isolated to widely scattered showers, and again, maybe a thunderstorm with a strong or low-grade severe storm possible. That's not our primary concern. Our main concern is after about 6, 7 o'clock this evening with this line of thunderstorms expected to roll in. There's the possibility ahead of this line, especially in the parts of southeast Kansas, some supercells may develop ahead of the line before they kind of blend in with it. That's why we have that moderate tornado risk out there, because ahead of it, we could see those supercells. Along the line itself, spin-up tornadoes, or what they call QLCS tornadoes, will be possible on the leading edge of this line. And if you take a look at this Boeing shape, that's where the wind risk comes from, where we could see those damaging straight line winds 70, 80 miles an hour out there. Now, typically as the overnight hours progress, these lines tend to lose their strength. That is not the expectation with this one as it surges off to the east and southeast across the area. By 1 a.m., well into Missouri, closing in on Arkansas. Severe weather still ongoing with this line as we go overnight tonight, and it won't be until after about 3-4 o'clock in the morning that line will move through and be done with us. And again, our Tuesday, the majority of the day looks pretty good, and our temperatures warming near 80 on our Tuesday. Then we go in to our Wednesday, and that's where we see that cold front triggering off more thunderstorms by mid-morning into the early afternoon. And along that front, some of those could be strong to severe. So we've got to keep a close eye on Wednesday as well. But once we hit the afternoon, that front pushes on out of here, and it'll take those storms and that severe threat with it. So again, today is an alert day for a very good reason. We have that potential for significant severe weather as we head into the evening and overnight. Make sure you're weather aware. Make sure you have your severe weather plans in place. Outside of that, we're looking at upper 70s, south winds gusting around 25 miles an hour. Then we'll go into the low 80s for us on our Wednesday. Some scattered storms, as we mentioned. Not a bad Thursday, a few showers Friday. Our weekend looks great with more thunderstorm chances by next week. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
Welcome to Miss Daisy's, where style meets comfort.
Right here on Fox 14.
A Minnesotan recently got the ride of her life. She celebrated her 105th birthday by hopping on a fire truck.
Jason Rentala reports on her special bond with first responders.
105-year-old Hootie Wakefield's biggest cheerleaders gathered at her home at the Waters of Plymouth to wish her well ahead of her big ride.
She just loves all of the fire department and the police department. They've come to all her birthdays.
They're fun, and the fire truck people are fun.
Plymouth first responders have been celebrating every birthday with Hootie since she turned 102. A few weeks ago, she did a police ride-along. Now,
right over here, Hootie.
It's the Plymouth Fire Department's turn.
Well, it makes her happy. That makes me happy.
You're getting in the right front seat. That means you're crew leader.
Should I turn on the siren?
Yes. Absolutely. Oh, I love it.
And to give her a ride on the fire truck finally, she's so appreciative. Such a wonderful, vibrant lady.
Hootie got to lounge inside the fire department break room.
And we're going to go off to the right here.
And even got an up-close look at the trucks.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And some of the gear.
Are they fireproof? I just love it. It's fun to see Mother, how joyous she is.
After an action-packed day, Hootie is already planning ahead for the next years to come.
I got a question for you, though.
Okay.
What are we going to do for your 106th birthday and your 107th birthday?
And how about the 108th?
Okay.
She looks pretty good for 105.
Yeah, and certainly a special way to celebrate a special birthday for sure. Well, we want to talk about our severe weather threat. We're going to recap this one more time for you, beginning with what we're expecting severe weather-wise as we head into the evening. We do have a moderate risk for tornadoes across. Okay, this is just updated. That's what I was talking about. Tennyson, forgive me for just a second. We knew that there was an update coming, and it just dropped. So this is what we've got now. We now have an enhanced risk for tornadoes across a good portion of the area. We have this moderate risk, and we now have a high risk that is partially clipping parts of Elk and Chautauqua counties. The last time we had a high-risk severe event in our area that covered our counties was May 24th, 2011. The last high-risk area issued by the Storm Prediction Center was March of last year. The hail threat has been also upgraded just a bit, and the wind threat, the enhanced risk, has been expanded across the entire area, as well as the significant wind gusts, and these hash marks indicating the possibility of strong tornadoes as we head into the evening. We are looking at, after about 6 o'clock this evening, thunderstorms developing, some supercells ahead of a squall line out to the west. That squall line will push through overnight tonight and bring with it all severe hazards across the area, including the possibility of strong tornadoes, large hail, and winds 70, 80 miles an hour or greater. So today's an alert day. We've got to keep a close eye on this as we head through the afternoon and evening. Make sure you have your severe weather plan in place. This is a significant severe weather day. We'll have one more look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
Us. This isn't us. Is it?
Roger Byers, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines and news you need to know before you head out the door. Joplin police respond to the Olive Garden after reports of a man causing a disturbance. Conflicting reports said the man had a gun, or rather displayed it. By the time police arrived, the male and his party were no longer on the scene. The man was not located and his identity is still unknown. No reports of injuries or arrests were made. If anybody has any information, contact JPD non-emergency line. The Missouri State Highway Patrol and Asbury Fire Department responded to a car crashed in between two trains late Friday night. A passenger car struck a slow-moving train, and as the driver got out, another train on the adjacent track was coming the other way, smashing the car in between two trains. The driver had minor injuries. Troopers on the scene told us that they were investigating a DWI crash.
All right, we're keeping an eye on a potential for significant severe weather as we head into the evening tonight. We just had these updated. We have a moderate to high risk for tornadoes across the area. These hatch marks now up to the Kansas-Missouri state line into northeastern Oklahoma, where we could see strong tornadoes as a possibility. Elevated to enhanced risk for hail across the area, and we have an enhanced risk for damaging wind gusts that could exceed 70 to 80 miles an hour. So this is going to be this evening, and it's going to be roughly after, say, 6 o'clock. I want to speed through the future track just to get to this evening really quick. So we're expecting a squall line of storms, and this is it by 9 o'clock as it races across the area with all severe hazards possible. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney, Doug Hetty will be here this evening to track these for you. Outside of that, again, highs into the upper 70s today, 80s tomorrow, more severe thunderstorms possible on Wednesday, and we'll finally get a break this weekend. Again, alert day today. We've got to keep a close eye on the storms as we head into this evening across the area.
Hey, I know our weather department is on the case.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We'll be back today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.